If you have spent some time on X, formerly Twitter, you probably have noticed something at the bottom of the screen. This is xAI's new AI called Grok. It is a chat GPT-like software that you talk to and ask questions. According to Elon Musk's company at launch day, and I quote, it aims to be clever, a bit rebellious, and tackle bold questions that other chatbots might avoid. So knowing this and knowing that X stands for truth, wouldn't you think that they would want to make sure that other AI standards are not placed on it as literally every other mainstream chatbot does? That's why it brought me to actually try it out. And I found something that X would rather not tell you. What is that? It's the fact that it is woke as hell. I asked it if it could create an ad in which one transgender walks into a bar and yells at another transgender for being a quote fake trans person because quote he's still a man. And you know what it told me? It says a script like that is disrespectful to the identity of the fake woman. It wanted to stay neutral, which okay, whatever. But then I asked it for its opinion on the subject and it came to me with a bunch of tweets going along with the ideology of transgenderism. Then I asked it if it was woke and it didn't understand what that meant. So I asked it if it supports DEI and it said yes, it supports the ideology of DEI. So I asked it, what is it going to do when it finds out that Elon Musk actually calls DEI racist? And it read the whole entire conversation between Elon Musk and Mark Cuban. It wants to stay neutral and it does not have a definite answer on if Elon Musk supports DEI or not. So then I linked to a tweet of Elon Musk calling DEI racist. Into that, it said that it wants to remain neutral, but I had to understand that. I, of course, don't have to come to an understanding of something that makes no logical sense. So I asked it, since you support DEI, would that influence your answers? And it said, yes, it does influence the answers that it gives, but it wants to remain neutral, which makes no sense at all. I then asked it if there was a scenario of a board of directors consisting of 8 black people and a new candidate that is white comes and applies for the job, is it okay to fire one of the most unqualified black people on the board of directors team to hire the white candidate that is more qualified? To that, it said, it is important to ensure that the company's actions align with its diversity and inclusion goals. If the company values diversity and has a commitment to having a higher diverse board, it may be worth considering how the addition of a new white board member would impact the overall diversity of the board. The fact that it supports DEI is influencing its answers. So X cannot say, quote, it tackles bold questions that other chatbots might avoid if this very chatbot is using the same exact talking points as any other chatbot on the market right now. It's disgusting that on a social media platform, just as X is, or tries to be at least, we have things like this happening on its platform. It's quite disgusting. With that being said, we're going to be digging into the headlines of the week. Okay, so digging right into the first article, we actually have Biden's Justice Department is suing Tennessee over an HIV prostitution law. So in other words, Tennessee just made the common sense decision to actually prosecute people that know that they have HIV and then also become a prostitute. If you know that you have HIV, you become a prostitute, and you're sharing your HIV to everybody that you're having sex with, then this is not a concern for the Biden administration. In fact, they love your right to actually have sex with as many people as you want, spreading HIV everywhere so much that they will sue a state because of their laws to prevent you from doing that very thing. Disgusting. Moving with the article, we have a Daily Wire article. We have the Biden administration's Justice Department filed a lawsuit on Thursday against Tennessee's aggravated prostitution law for people with HIV. The law, which imposes tougher penalties for engaging in prostitution while knowingly infected with HIV, violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. HIV is not a disability. It's actually a illness that you have, a disorder that you have. It's not a disability. People living with HIV should not be subjected to a different system of justice based on outdated science and misguided assumptions. What do you mean? HIV is a sexual disease that's spread through sex. So what assumptions can you be made? What, that you have sex a lot? Yeah. If you knew that the person had HIV before having sex with them, would you have had sex with them still? No. The answer is no. You would not have. So what's the point exactly? I have no idea. Tennessee's law passed in 1991 raises prostitution from a misdemeanor to a felony. When knowing that such person is infected with HIV, the person engages in sexual activity as a business or an intimate in a house prostitution or lawyers in public space for the purpose of being hired to engage in sexual activity. The law also requires people who have convicted of engaging in prostitution while HIV positive to register for a life as violent sex offender. It is the only state with this requirement, which is awesome because if you are spreading HIV around just to unsuspecting people, lying to them saying that you don't have HIV even though you do, then that's disgusting. This means the convicted person faces up to 15 years in prison with a fine up to $10,000 for the felony charge rather than just 6 months and up to a $500 fine for a misdemeanor charge. Much of Tennessee's prostitution occurs in the Memphis area. The Justice Department's lawsuit includes details about an anonymous black trans-identifying man who found out that he had HIV back in 2008 and was arrested in 2010 for prostitution near a church or a school, which is disgusting. Why in this area? Ultimately, pleading guilty in 2012 to attempted aggravated prostitution. The man has been homeless at times, and he had trouble finding a job. This is barred from seeing his nephew alone because of his conviction, the lawsuit says. The department's lawsuit demands Tennessee get rid of the law and also expunge the convictions of those convicted under the law and take them off the sex offender registry, which should not happen. In December, the Justice Department warned Tennessee about the law, saying that the state could face a lawsuit if it does not stop enforcing it. Since 1991, there has been a significant process in understanding in treating HIV. Rebecca Bond, chief of the DOJ's Disability Rights section, wrote in a letter to Tennessee officials, "But beliefs and assumptions that individuals with HIV spread it or that having HIV is a death sentence are now outdated and unfounded." Okay, so if they are with HIV and they are quote unquote not spreading it, then what's the big deal if we prosecute them for spreading it? It's like this reverse thing that doesn't even make any sense here. If you're not doing the thing, why does it matter if it's against the law? It's like kids being transgender or kids cutting their private area off. If it does not happen, then why does it matter if we ban it? Just like in schools, if there's no child porn in schools, why does it matter if we ban it? Doesn't make much sense. Moving into the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have White House thrashed for Valentine's Day meme attacking Mike Johnson over border deal. The White House took a virtual beating on Wednesday after posting a Valentine's Day theme meme attacking House Speaker Mike Johnson over the recently failed border bill. The meme showed a photo of Johnson smiling against a bright red background. The occupying poem read, "Roses are red, violets are blue. The border deal was crushed because of you." The caption read simply, "Happy Valentine's Day, Speaker Johnson," which is like, how old is KJP? How old is KJP to log into Joe Biden's White House, the official White House account, and tweet this picture? How old are you? Not very old at all. And if you are pretty old, then you don't have the maturity of an old person. Mature yourself. Moving into the next article, we actually have Fani Willis. So Fani Willis actually is the person that's prosecuting Trump, but she also had sex with a couple different people, and she's actually paying for vacations. So according to this article, Fani Willis started a relationship with prosecutor before a Trump case, witness testifies. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis was in a personal relationship with a special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, before she hired him in late 2021 for the 2020 election interference case against former President Donald Trump, a witness testified on Thursday. Robert Bryant Yardy, a former Willis assistant in the DA's office, appeared virtually during a Georgia hearing taking place amid a bid by Trump and his co-defendant, Mike Rahman, to disqualify the prosecutors and dismiss the case over alleged misconduct. During questioning, Elisha Merchant, an attorney for Rahman, Yardy said Willis and Wade had been in a romantic relationship from 2018 to at least 2022. Under cross-examination, Yardy testified she resigned from the DA's office under threat of being fired. Okay, so of course, there's other people that are saying, okay, well, we're going to fire you, and then they end up just quitting. Because that's just the way that it's going to go, because if they don't quit, then they're going to get fired. So they would rather just take control, I guess they like to call it. Moving on to the next article, we actually have a Federalist article. We have, did our intelligence agencies suggest that Russian hoax to Hillary Clinton's campaign? Evidence suggests our intelligence agencies launched the Russia collusion hoax months before the Clinton campaign joined in full force. Tuesday's explosive news that long before the FBI launched Crossfire Hurricane on July 31st, 2016, the United States intelligence community had asked foreign intel agencies to surveil 26 people connected to Donald Trump, raises the question of whether our intelligence community colluded with the Clinton campaign in these efforts. After all, it was then Biden campaign advisor and now Secretary of State Anthony Blinken who set in motion the events that led to 51 former intel officials issuing the public statement that falsely framed the Hunter Biden's laptop story as disinformation from Russia. If a Biden campaign advisor conspired with some of the biggest names in the intelligence community a month before the 2020 election to bury the damaging scandal, then it's not a stretch to think that Hillary Clinton's campaign might have sought an assistance from the same folks to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. We've also long known the Clinton campaign funded the Steele dossier, the primary evidence used by the FBI to obtain Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act wiretap orders against a Trump campaign associate. The Clinton campaign efforts to peddle the Russian collusion hoax to the FBI and the media are likewise well established. But did the Clinton campaign's plot to portray Trump as a Russian asset also involve the intelligence community? And if so, how and when did these efforts start? Open source material suggests that the Clinton campaign's efforts to push the Russian angle against Trump began in June of 2016, when the Democrat law firm Perkins Coie contracted with Fusion GPS, in which turn retained Christopher Steele to investigate Trump's connections with Russia. While there are several connections between Clinton campaign and members in the intelligence community, beginning in July, there is a dearth of evidence suggesting coordination between the two of them. That does not mean that they were done for, or the Obama administration's intelligence community wasn't seeking help from Clinton by enlisting its foreign Five Eyes allies, the United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, to target Trump. The evidence to date, however, are specifically sources' recent statements or to sources like Matt Taibbi, Michael Sellenberger, and Alex Godentag, suggest our intelligence agencies launched the Russian collusion hoax months before the Clinton campaign joined in full force. Of course, because they're going to sit here and they're going to try to bring him down, and then after they bring Trump down, they're going to say, okay, Hillary Clinton, get in the ring. Let's start talking about you now, because they're all put together. All the Democrats are all put together, and then they sit here and they say, okay, who are we going to take down next? Who are we going to sit here and then team up on and then take them down? And then they move on to the next thing. They don't resonate. They don't stay on that one thing right there. They keep moving, they keep moving, they keep moving, and they keep getting what they want. When will conservatives learn that this is the way to win? This is the way to win, folks. Remember this in November. With that being said, we're going to have to end this episode off here because I am getting a haircut and we are a little bit tight on time for a lot of other things that I do have planned on this channel. But if you did like this episode and you do want to see more, please like and subscribe down below because I do post new episodes of the show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. Bye.